Hi, I'm Will from Tested.
I'm Norm from Tested.
Norm, today we have a whole boatload of conservation.
Power strip.
Power strip.
Power strips.
Fancy power
Nothing more exciting than expensive power strips.
I think this is actually kind of cool stuff.
Okay.
So Belkin has a line of Conserved products. They are designed to help you conserve energy in various ways.
Min-max your energy usage in your home.
Yes.
Micromanage that shit.
Some of this isn't new. For example, this first product we're going to look at, this is the Conserved Smart AV. Okay. It is a power strip. It looks like a fancy power strip.
How many ports? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That is, Norm can count to 8. Good news.
Yeah.
The thing that's interesting about this isn't that it has 8 ports. It's actually that it is a smart power strip. So it has one master port. That's this one right here.
Green one. Okay.
It stays powered on all the time, no matter what you do, pretty much.
When you say powered on, it means energy can flow through
Energy is going through it all the time. When that device turns on, it's smart enough to know the difference between the small amount of power that, like your TV, for example, uses, all the time, just to know
very little power,
0.3 of a watt or something like that, versus the massive amount of current it draws when it's turned on.
Not in standby mode.
And not in standby mode anymore. When that happens, when you turn on your TV, what it does is it energizes these other 5 power sockets.
Okay.
So that stuff like your amplifier and Xbox and all the stuff that you don't need to have on all the time, but draws a little bit of current, can be all the way off most of the time and only on when you're actually having a chance of using it.
So another way to say this is these aren't on unless that's on.
These are controlled by the master socket.
Got it.
These are always on. They are dumb power slots. They work all the time. I tested this out. It works just fine, exactly as advertised.
It's kind of tall.
It's about $30. That seems to be the going price for this type of master power controlled power strip. They're between 20 and $30 for the most part, depending on how many strips they have.
Surge protectors as well?
It's a surge protector as well. It's a little bit tall. I didn't test the surge protection. There's a power switch on the far side if you want to do a physical all the way off, all the way on type situation. So this next product is called the Belkin Conserve socket.
Just the socket?
Yes, it solves a problem that I'm sure you have. Have you ever been in the car on your way to work or long vacation or something and you realize that you left your curling iron on at home?
Your mom has said that. My mom does.
Okay. Super racist. This is designed to solve that problem. Okay. Basically, there is a switch on the top. You press the switch. The socket is not active until you press the little button on top.
All right, why would you want that?
So on the side, there are 3 settings: a half hour, 3 hours, and 6 hours. What this does is it has a timer inside and actually turns off after the period of time that you have the switch set to. Okay. So something like your curling iron, which I know you use all the time.
All the time.
You can set it to turn off after 30 minutes because you don't need to leave the curling iron all day long. Turning on the curling iron becomes as easy as walking up, hitting the button, curling iron's on.
Or like our coffee machine, having the burner on. Yeah. We want the burner off after 3 hours.
El Scorcho, what we call the bun, because people keep leaving the burner on and burning all the coffee away and making horrible smells in the office. 3 hours, perfect length of time.
It's like a deep fryer in Arrested Development.
Exactly like the deep fryer. This works fine. It's a little boring. It's only $10 though. So if this is something that you need, you know that you need it, and it would be.
It does take it's pretty big, so.
It's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of this stuff.
Gonna block one of the ports. You can't really put on the second.
You can put it on the top one, and it kind of doesn't block the bottom one unless you want to plug something that's real big and wall-warty.
Yeah. And the light doesn't blink when it's close.
The light just turns on. It's just a light, faint green.
Got it. Half hour, 3 hours, or 6 hours.
$10. So this next thing is called the Belkin Conserve Insight. It has 2 parts. Basically, there's this guy, which is a little screen with some buttons and an LCD. The other end plugs into the wall, and you plug something into that. You can plug a lot of somethings. For example, I put this between the wall and the power strip that controls all of my entertainment center stuff, so I can see how much power my TV, amplifier, Xbox, TiVo, Apple TV, Roku, all that stuff draws when it's on. Yeah. The neat thing about this is it shows you a bunch of different things. First off, you can see just a straight how much current it's drawing right now. I have an iPad charger and an iPad plugged in. It's drawing 9.7 watts. All right. Yeah. The interesting thing about this, though, is that it also has a dollar calculation.
So how does that work?
You can set it to see, well, basically, it starts with the default kilowatt hours per dollar calculation that's like kind of right for the entire United States. You can also customize that. You hold down the center button for 3 seconds, and it lets you put in whatever is on your electrical bill, which is really good.
Tell you how much you pay per month, per week, per day?
So that's the place that it gets interesting. It shows per month and per year. So this power strip at its current rate is costing me about 80 cents a month to run at the national average rate.
At the current rate?
Yeah.
Okay. If it was on, then it's all the time.
If it's on all the time, charging exactly as it is right now. On an annual, it's $10. So it basically just multiplies the monthly rate by 12. I'm going to unplug the iPad. It's going to go down. Yep, and it is below half a watt. So this is the other thing that this is really good for. If you have a lot of wall warts and you're worried that these guys right here, these things that hang out of the wall, are siphoning power off when there's nothing plugged into them or when the devices are already charged, this is a really great tool to let you kind of keep track of that and figure out which are the bad devices and which are the good devices in your house.
Yeah.
I have not gone around through the house. My next project is to go through every device in my house and see what's good and what's bad. I think it's going to take a long time.
The Xbox.
Yeah,
not so good.
The Xbox is not so good. One of the other things that's kind of a bummer is obviously you do have to unplug stuff and then plug it back into this in order for it to work. And this is also pretty big. It takes up a lot of space on the wall. I actually tried to plug it in my entertainment center, which is one of the four plugs in one wall. This blocked 3 of the 4. So a little bit of a bummer. You're going to want to, it's not something you're going to leave plugged in all the time.
You really want to plug another power brick or another
that's the ideal.
on top of this.
Yeah. And it's also good for like teaching kids about how power usage works because like they may not understand kilowatt hours. They do understand $10 a month.
Dollar signs.
Dollar signs.
5 tacos.
I'm going to charge you per taco basis, yes. So this is the Belkin Conserve Insight. It's about $30. I think it's pretty useful, especially if you want to kind of get a good idea of what's going on in your power usage.
Train your kids to use this energy.
Exactly. Okay, so this next thing is called the Belkin Conserve Surge Protector.
Okay, just a straight up surge protector.
Well, that's what you might think by looking at it.
Yeah.
Couple of things that they do pretty well. The outlets are spaced really well apart, so you can put giant ass wall warts on this thing, no problem. I took the biggest things I could find in the house. They plugged in, plenty of room. I could put 3 wall warts on each
opposite
side.
directions.
Which is really good, yeah.
Not too thick.
Now, the interesting thing about this is that there are 2 types of ports on this. These guys up here are always on. They're grounded, surge protector, all the normal stuff. These 6 are actually controlled with a remote control. This guy right here. Yeah. The idea behind this is that you plug in all of you go around with the Insight, you find all the vampires in the house, and then you plug them all into this thing, and you use this switch to turn them on or off at will. You can do this for all of your stuff in the house. This is kind of expensive. It's about $40. I kind of think that the whole remote control thing is a little bit weird and probably more work than most people are going to go to. Yeah. I mean, the Switch it has a battery. It's a weird lithium-ion camera battery. It lasts a year supposedly, but you're not going to get it at the grocery store probably. It's a little bit hard to take out of the wall socket as well. I
right. It does. You can mount it to the wall. Guests can come over and it looks like a light switch.
Yeah.
And then you flip it off and your TV turns off.
Yeah. It's $40, so it's a little bit expensive for a surge protector. I don't really find the remote control aspect to be particularly useful. The wall warts that I did try are all kind of like the iPod one.
Small.
That they pull very little power even when they're in the idle. I think this is a pretty cool idea. If it was $30, I'd be much more into it than if it's 40. So this is the Belkin Surge Protector, Conserved Surge Protector rather. Yeah, it's out now. So the Belkin Conserve line of power conservation products is really interesting. I kind of expected this to be super boring. You might already think that, but I think it's pretty cool. The big winner is the Insight. This little meter, you plug it in between all your different stuff. It presents information in a much more friendly way than like traditional easy watt and kilowatt type power monitoring situations. And I like that you can plug this into the wall and have this out where you can actually look at it and see if you want to teach the kid to turn off the computer when he's done with it. The other big winner is the Conserve Smart AV. I think everybody should have these in their entertainment centers. There's no reason to be running idle power on stuff like the Xbox and the Wii and all that if you have a TV that's remote controlled. It works flawlessly. I really like it. This isn't necessarily the best one to get. This is the one I've tested. It's $30. That seems to be what they all cost, $20 to $30. So
only Belkin gave you badges and awards for conserving power.
I know.
Make it a game.
Yeah, I wish I had achievements. But yeah, that's what this is. It's out now. For Tested, I'm Will.
I'm Norm.
See you guys next time.
Bye.